everybody. Today we are going to be showing you how to do the fishtail braid that was showcased on Sexy Hair Corporate's Facebook page last week. It was such a hit, and honestly people think it's really difficult, but I'm going to show you how you can create the fishtail with a lot of simplicity and super easy utilizing the Sexy Hair products that we're going to be using today. I've prepped her hair with the Volumizing Dry Shampoo. Volumizing Dry Shampoo really soaked up the extra oils from her scalp and gave me a really good foundation for her fishtail. I'm going to start by parting off at her natural part line, and then I'm going to come across the heavier side from the crown to the corner of the ear. All the hair in the opposite side profile and back profile is just going to be clipped out of the way. Now I'm going to start with the top profile, and I am going to leave her natural fringe out at natural fall. I'm going to go in through horizontally and just back comb at the base, creating a really nice full foundation for my fishtail. And I'm going to do this all the way down to her ear. Now she does have extensions in here, so I'm not going to back comb too heavy at that base, just a little bit. Once I've got my back comb in, I'm just going to kind of loosen up just right around that front hairline so you can't quite see all the back combing. And then I'm going to utilize a little bit of the soy paste so my fishtail is nice and polished. Now when I start my fishtail, I want to grab from the outsides of my top profile. My first one, I'm just going to take a horizontal parting right across the top of it, subdividing it into two equal subsections. Grabbing from my outside corners, crossing over, starting my fishtail. And I want my fishtail to be pretty loose. That's how you're going to get that nice voluminous style. And just continue crossing over from my outside corners. And I'm just going to do this all the way down to the top of her ear. You want to make sure that you don't get this super tight. Keeping it loose is going to make sure that it stays really, really full. It's okay if you see a little bit of the back combing in there. What we're seeing right now on the runways is a lot of dual textures. So if you see a little bit more of a messy style incorporated with curls or with a polished look, that's totally okay. When you add it in with braids or knots, that's what gives you that dual texture end result. Our model Macy also has these fusion extensions with the colors, which is really fun. It's great to have those as like maybe an add-on service when you're creating any sort of up style, and it really just adds to the interest of the overall finished result. So once I get down to the bottom, just at the top of the ear, I'm just going to step back from my work a little bit and just make sure that I have it as full as I want it. And you can just kind of pull these out just with your fingers until you get the result that you want. looks pretty good. Now I'll go in and just anchor in using a clear band at the bottom of my braid. Okay, now once I have that top and side profile fishtail done, then I'm going to take the rest of her left side profile and back profile and comb it right over and marry it with that ponytail. So I'm just going to smooth that out. Working around the back profile. And I am going to leave just a small piece out just at the base of the ponytail. This hair here is going to actually wrap around the ponytail so that we don't see any of our rubber bands. I'm going to use a little bit of my Spritz and Stay just for control. Spritz and Stays are non-aerosol spritz hairspray. Okay, now I'm going to bring that all over and anchor into my previous ponytail. Again with a clear rubber band. Once I have that anchored in, now I can take my small piece that I left from the back profile, use a little bit of my soy paste for control, and I'm just going to wrap this over my ponytail holder until I cover it completely, and then anchor underneath with a bobby pin. Okay, once I have that anchored in, then I'm just going to continue on with my fishtail braid all the way down. And I can use my soy paste as well, just to make sure I have a nice polished braid. Again, with the fishtail, I'm just going to separate my ponytail into two. And just continue working down, crossing over to the opposite side. The smaller pieces you take from the outside corners, the more ornate your braid's going to be. The larger pieces, it'll start to look more like a traditional 3-strand braid. So you can already see how the colors make it look kind of cool, a little bit different, definitely a little bit more interesting. So I encourage you adding in those colored pieces, but it's not necessary. And you want to make sure too that you're not going to take your braids super tight, because we're going to pull out little pieces on the sides to add some width to our fishtail. So we've been able to do this up style in just 2 sections rather than typically we use like 5 subsections based on the profiles of the head shape, but I think simpler is better. So incorporating that top profile with the side and then the other side through the back makes it a lot easier. So we're almost to the bottom. Once that hair kind of starts to pop out at the bottom, we're going to secure our braid in place. And instead of using a rubber band, I'm actually just going to use my rat tail brush or my teasing brush. Loosen this up a little bit first. And I'm just going to back comb it from the top. And from the bottom. And you can see we're adding just another dimension into there and another texture. You could rubber band it if you like, if you want to have more of a polished end, but I think this is kind of cool with her colored extensions. Now once we get that locked in, then I'm just going to use my normal tail comb and go through and just start pulling little pieces out from the sides. This is where you get to be creative as the stylist. How wide do you want it? How little do you want those loops to be? This is completely up to you. Pull from the opposite side. You can also just use your fingers if that gives you more control. I think that looks pretty good. I'm just going to anchor one more bobby pin underneath her ponytail. Spreading that out, making sure that we're covering up our ponytail holders. That's why it's really good to use clear too, so that you don't see those ponytails. Okay. Once I get it the way I like, then I'll go in, use my Spritz and Stay over top. This is really going to hold our fishtail in. It's more like an all-nighter spray, so it's going to give me great control along with a lot of shine. And I'll do the same with my fringe. I'll comb it where I like. And lock that in with Spritz and Stay as well. And there's our fishtail braid. Thank you guys. I encourage you to try it. Check out Sexy Hair Corp for the latest and greatest with all of our newest styles.